Hello everybody, welcome to the Generic Cappy YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. I am Generic Cappy, and today we're doing something a little different. I don't know if I did this last year, but I know I did it the year before, because it kind of went in line with, I think, the Disney Investors Day. But I'm going to be voting and I guess talking about some of the nominees for this year's Game Awards. You know, it's a pretty cool event, the Game Awards. I really liked watching it in the past. I know not obviously everything that happens in the Game Awards, they do a lot of announcements, they do a lot of awards. Not everything is gonna like appeal to everybody, especially with in terms of the announcements. But I do think they bring some cool stuff. Every year. In 2017, we got Legend of Zelda. We got Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year. We got the Ballad of Champions, where like the second DLC pack was released that night. Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3 were announced were announced that Bayonetta 1 and 2 were coming to Switch, and then Bayonetta 3 was in development. So that's just the Nintendo announcements. There was a good. I'm sure there was a good amount of announcements for like regular, not regular, for other companies. And then obviously in 2018 we had Joker at the Game Awards and Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3. In 2019 we didn't have much for Nintendo. 2020 we had Sephiroth. And then last year we didn't have much either. I know we did have other things on the in spliced between those things. We had Bravely Default 2 announced at the Game Awards. We had I think maybe DLC for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 was announced at the Game Awards. Maybe not. Maybe like the characters for one of the DLCs were announced there. I think they gave a teaser for No More Heroes 3 at the Game Awards. So, there was a good amount of stuff there, just for Nintendo. And then obviously, we also had the Xbox Series X announced or shown off at the first time at the Game Awards. We've had games, big games announced there. We had the Wonder Woman game announced last year. There's already teases for what will be shown off this year. And yeah, so I'm very excited just to see the awards, see what they announce. Jeff Keighley already said that this year's show will probably be shorter than the last couple of years. That could be for obviously a number of reasons. Maybe they don't have as many announcements. Maybe they were maybe a little bit more restrictive on the announcements that they wanted to bring to the Game Awards this year. Maybe maybe they don't have enough as much advertisements. Stuff like that, but. Who knows? I guess we'll see when it officially airs. I mean, it could still run as long as it did previously. There's certain things that happen during the Game Awards that you can't really predict, or any award show that you can't really predict. But yeah. Besides that, there will be two parts to this video. The voting part, which will happen right now, and then I will do a small little predictions part of the video, mainly focused, I guess, around Nintendo, because we don't really necessarily know. I mean, I guess I can also talk about some of the things I think might be there, but it's been things that's already been confirmed to be there, and then some, I guess, speculative points. But yeah, let's just get into the voting. I think I'm gonna go backwards, because I don't really know how to vote for these 5 categories at the bottom for the esports, because I don't really watch esports and I don't really participate in esports, so I don't really know like the people in esports or the teams or the coaches or the events or the games. Well, I do know the games, but I don't really play any of the games. I mean, we can look at it. I don't really play any of these games. Well, I've played some of them. I've played them, but I'm not really a participant in playing these games. So, which is totally fine. If I had to say a game that I think might win here, I think it's gonna be Valorant. Just because Valorant looks cool. But I have also out of all these games I played Rocket League the most, or maybe CS:GO a little bit, or Counter-Strike Global Offensive more. But Valorant. I guess Valorant is cool. Rocket League is cool. League of Legends is cool. Dota 2 is cool. It is interesting. We have 2 Valve games, 2 Riot games, and then Riot games, and then we have Siphonics for Rocket League. But the first category we're going to vote in is most anticipated game. I think you can probably already know the way I'm going to vote here. I mean, I'm sure all these games are good, but there is only one game that I am going to buy on day one, guaranteed, and that is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Um, you know, because it's cool and it's a Nintendo and it's the sequel to the Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. But just I guess I guess we're probably gonna see some of the games. I think we'll have like some news outside of um, announcements or some news for games that for like stuff that we might see there. I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but I think it's been confirmed that Final Fantasy 16, there will be something there for at the Game Awards for it. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think the director's there, or maybe the producer, and there's been rumors that maybe the release date's going to be shown at the Game Awards, which is cool. I think that'd be pretty awesome, for Final Fantasy 16 fans. I really like Final. I mean, I bought Final Fantasy 15 when it came out. I didn't really play it that much. I do have Final Fantasy 7 Remake as well, but I haven't really played that much either. So, um, you know, out of all these games, I think Final Fantasy 16 is probably the one that's going to get announcement since it's been practically confirmed. But I wouldn't be surprised if the big thing from Xbox is Starfield, or we get a new trailer for Hogwarts Legacy or Resident Evil 4. But if Nintendo brings anything, we can go a little bit into, I guess, the speculation about announcements. I do think it'll probably be a Tears of the Kingdom trailer, but we will get into that a little bit later in the video. But yeah, I think I will vote for most anticipated game, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. For best adaptation, I haven't really watched any of these. I did watch a little bit of Arcane, and I know Cyberpunk Edge Runners is good. I didn't know the Cuphead show came out, but I'm sure it's good too. Just because Cuphead's good, I'm sure it's cool. And the people behind Cuphead, obviously, were there, helping make the show. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, pretty cool. I haven't watched Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and then Uncharted, I haven't watched Uncharted. So, but I think I will vote for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, just because, Sonic is pretty cool, But I think any of these can win. If I had to put a guess, if I had to put a guess for most anticipated, I think Zelda is gonna win. If I put a guess here, I think Arcane's gonna win. But just because I haven't really watched any of this, I'm just gonna vote for Sonic. Because maybe Sonic wins. Who knows? Best debut indie: Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors. I think I vote for Stray, just because Stray was my favorite indie of the year. And I haven't really played a lot of these. I watched everybody play. I've watched people play, I think, every game but Norco. Because I think I want to play Norco. I think it looks pretty cool. But I guess we'll see about that, soon. But I think I'll vote for Stray. Because Stray was my favorite indie out of all of these. Even, it was the one that made me play the most of it, at least. But I do like Stray, so we'll vote for Stray. Content creator of the year, I don't really know most of the people here, which is, I mean, it's fine. I guess, I'm not, I don't really watch, I guess, a lot of the more common content creators. I'm not really sure. I know Nibelian is not a, streamer or video maker, I don't think, but I think I'll vote for Nibelian just because, Nibelian's cool. He isn't really on the internet anymore. But yeah, I think again, anybody can win this category. I'm not even sure if Nibelian is necessarily a content creator, but he did make a positive impact and was important to his community. So, that's pretty cool. But I think I think any of them can win, which is cool. They all look pretty cool, in itself. Best multiplayer game. We have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Multiverses, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. If I had to pick a game here again, it would probably be Splatoon 3. Though I think either Call of Duty or Multiverses will win this category. But I haven't played enough Multiverses, and I have not played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 to be able to vote for it. I don't think Overwatch 2 is gonna win, and I don't think I think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would be a sleeper hit. I think that has a chance of winning, but Splatoon 3 is the one I've played the most out of, and it's the one I like the most, or not necessarily like the most, but played the most out of. I enjoy playing what I've played of it, so Splatoon 3. Um, but again, I think if any of them are gonna win, I think it would be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 or Multiverses, um, just because they've been pretty talked about, and especially with Call of Duty, I think it does have a little bit of a recency bias because it's the most recent one of these released. But any of them, I think, can win. I think in most categories, any game can actually win those categories. Best sports / racing, F1 22, FIFA 23, NBA 2K 23, Gran Turismo 7, and Ollie Ollie World. I have played. I don't think I've played any of these. I do have a couple of them, but I haven't played like NBA 2K23 or Gran Turismo 7 that much. I haven't played F1 22 or FIFA 23 at all, which is I think I think all of them can win, but I think I'm gonna vote for Ollie Ollie World because Ollie Ollie World looks pretty cool. I like Ollie Ollie World. It looks cool from what I watched, and maybe if I am able to after the Game Awards, everything airs, maybe I will buy Ollie Ollie World and be able to play it, which is cool. But again, I think any game can win this category. We got a big Sony game here, so maybe Sony, just because of the name, Gran Turismo 7 and all of that, maybe that's what wins. But I guess we'll see. Best sim / strategy, Dune Spice Wars, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks to Hopes, Total War, Warhammer 3, 2 Point Campus, and Victoria 3. I think Mario and Rabbids wins this category. Mario plus Rabbids. I do have 2 Point Campus, and it's pretty fun. But I have been having a lot of fun with Mario plus Rabbids. Well, no, that's what I'm voting for. Obviously, whatever I vote for doesn't mean it's obviously gonna win. I guess we can see that. So yeah, that's why I figured Mario plus Rabbids would be a good choice. Mario plus Rabbids. I really like the first game. I haven't finished this game yet, but really like it. So for me, it was going to either be between Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope and 2 Point Campus, and obviously Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope gets my vote. Oh, wrong button. Oh, wait. Okay, I guess because I'm going backwards. Never mind. So best family game. Obviously, 4 of these games are Nintendo games, or Nintendo games. 3 of them are Nintendo games. One of them is a Ubisoft game, and one of them is WB. So we have Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks to Hope, Nintendo Switch Sports, and Splatoon 3. This is probably the only category that I will vote on today that I've actually played all 5 games, or all the games in that category. So, this is a choice I would make. But for me, personally, this is the only category that Kirby is nominated in, and I think this is a category that Kirby deserves. I don't think Mario & Rabbids should win this. I mean, for when it comes to best family game, the game that's best appropriate for the family play, I think Kirby is the best appropriate for that. Either that or Nintendo Switch Sports. Splatoon, I guess you can play with your family, Mario plus Rabbids, and Lego. But I think Kirby is really cool. I think Kirby deserves this one, so that's why I'm going to vote for Kirby. Though, again, in this category, I think any of these games could win it. If I had a runner-up, I think it would be Nintendo Switch Sports. And then I think it would go Splatoon 3, Lego, and then Mario plus Rabbids. But, I think Kirby deserves it. Best fighting game. So that would be DNF Duel, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R, The King of Fighters 15, Multiverses, and Sifu. All these games, I think, deserve it. I haven't played all of them, so I can't really say too much about each of them, but I know a lot of people are excited for each of them. I actually haven't heard of DNF Duel before, so yeah, that's something I would like to probably look up after I finish this video, but honestly, I think I'm actually going to go with Sifu on this one. From what I watched of Sifu, for me it would be either between Multiverses and Sifu, and I think, you know, Sifu is kind of cool. I'm some of these categories, I'm trying to go with the underdog. I don't think Sifu is gonna win. I think Multiverses probably will win, either Multiverses or the King of Fighters 15. Though DNF Duel might actually win. I don't actually know what but I haven't ever seen that game before, so um, maybe I have. Maybe let's just say acronym for it. I don't know. But anyways, I think I'm gonna go with Sifu. Um, you know, any game in this category I think could win. You know, in any of these categories again, I think any game can win. But best role playing game. This is probably one of my more decisive categories. Um, in this category, there's 4 games that are on Switch, and then Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring is gonna win. Obviously, it's Elden Ring, Live Alive, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I think Elden Ring's gonna win, but I haven't really played much of Elden Ring, so I can't really vote it for it when I've played all of the other 4 games. And for me personally, I'm gonna vote for Pokemon Legends Arceus, because that's the game I had the most fun with the whole entire year. For me personally, Pokemon Legends would be my game of the year, if it was obviously nominated for Game of the Year. Otherwise, I think it would probably go Pokemon, like Xenoblade, and then Kirby, and then I had some other I play. Well, I won't get into that until later on, but it would be like Pokemon, Kirby, or Xenoblade, Kirby, and then like Stray, and like those kind of games, Horizon, that kind of stuff. I haven't, just as a preview, I haven't played Elden Ring that much. I haven't played God of War at all, so I can't really vote for those 2, even though I think those 2 will be the 2 that are up for, it's going to be between them for Game of the Year, but, I haven't played those yet, so I can't really vote for them. So my votes are just based on like what I've played pretty much, if I've played it, if this category has a game I played. Best Action Adventure, A Plague Tale Requiem, God of War, Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. In this category, it's between Horizon Forbidden West and Stray for me. I haven't played Tunic yet, as I mentioned, I think earlier. But I've watched people play it, and I think it looks really fun. I do want to play it, but I don't really have like a platform right now to play it on. But in this category, I think like the role playing game, I think Elden Ring's gonna win that. I think God of War is probably gonna win this one. I would like to play A Plague Tale Requiem. I haven't played the first one. I did watch a playthrough of it. But for me, I think I'm actually going to go with Horizon on this one. I like Horizon's pretty cool. For me, it would have been Horizon and Stray, between those 2. But obviously, I think God of War is gonna, take this category. Best Action Game, Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Sifu, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Now, normally, I would probably go with Bayonetta 3, but I have it, I just haven't played it yet. I think, I haven't voted for Neon White yet. Neon White is pretty cool, I like Neon White. I think out of this whole category, Call of Duty is probably gonna win. Just because I think, I've been seeing a lot of people say this is Call of Duty's like comeback here. So I guess that means it's really pretty good. So it's either gonna be Call of Duty. I think it's gonna be Call of Duty. I think Bayonetta is probably a sleeper. So yeah, I think Sifu has a chance. I think all of them have obviously a chance. But I think Neon White does deserve some recognition this year for how good it actually is. So I think, best action game, I think I'm going to go with it. I think I'm going to give that to Neon White, but I wouldn't be surprised if any other game in this category wins that one. Best VR/AR game. I haven't played any of these, but it is After the Fall, Among Us VR, Bone Lab, Moss Book 2, and Red Matter 2. I think the easiest one probably, would be Among Us VR. I think from what I've seen, that probably has the most playability. Will most likely be the one that wins this category. I think just because of name recognition, and I know this category probably isn't as popular as other ones, so there's not really much more I can say about this, but I think Among Us VR has a pretty good chance. Innovation and accessibility. So it is recognizing software and or hardware that pushes the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played by and enjoyed by an even wider audience. So for this category, we have As Dusk Falls, God of War Ragnarok, Return to Monkey Island, The Last of Us Part 1, and The Quarry. I have a couple of these games, but I have not played any of them yet. Um, so, it is interesting. I would probably go with Last of Us Part 1 for this category, just because that's the one I have, seen. And then I already know about the innovations that they made in Last of Us Part 2. But, I don't know. I will just go with Last of Us Part 1, just because, that's the one I know the most about. But, I wouldn't be surprised if God of War Ragnarok wins it, because they probably took a lot from what Last of Us Part 1 did in terms of accessibility and put it in that game. Because obviously they're both made by Sony Studios, but I think As Dusk Falls is going to be a pretty good one as well. It has a good chance. Same thing with Return to Monkey Island and The Quarry. So again, another category I think any of the nominees can win. Best community support. I'm just gonna go with No Man's Sky. I have played a couple of these games. I played No Man's Sky. I've played Destiny 2, but I have not really played the other three. So I think No Man's Sky won it last year. I think No Man's Sky has a good chance of winning it this year. Fortnite probably could win it. I know Fortnite probably has an update. I think it's been I think they officially put out that maybe they are showing off an update at the Game Awards this year, so Fortnite might win this one. But obviously Final Fantasy 14, I know they had a revitalization of the entire game through recent patches and updates, so that has a good chance. In the Apex Legends obviously has a good chance. Best mobile game, Apex Legends Mobile, Diablo Immortal Mobile, or Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, and Tower of Fantasy. I'm just gonna go for Marvel Snap because that's the only one on this category I've actually played. And I haven't even played that much of it. I've played only in recent, couple weeks. But it is a fun game. It's a card game. Marvel's Midnight Suns just came out, and that's a similar game in that sense. It's a card game, and I'm looking forward to playing that. I have that, so I'm looking forward to playing it. So I apologize for that. And then, so yeah, I think Marvel Snap has a good chance to win. Best indie game. I have been voting for Stray a lot, so I'm just gonna put Stray in. But best indie game there is Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic. Again, I think Stray. I think there is an inherent thought that since Stray is nominated for Game of the Year, it will probably win the indie categories that it's in, because obviously that's kind of it. But I think Stray does deserve it. I think it would be a fight between all 5 of these. I think Tunic also has a good chance. Sifu, Neon White, and Cult of the Lamb. But I think just because Stray is nominated for Game of the Year, and again, it is the only one I've pretty much played all the way through, I think I'm going to vote for Stray, but I think Tunic and Sifu and Neon White and Cult of the Lamb have a good chance. Best ongoing game, so Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. I'm just going to vote for Destiny 2, because that's the only one that I've played a lot of. But again, any of these games could win it. The same thing with the best community support. Any game. I think more than likely. Well, no. Well, these games are very similar, I think, except No Man's Sky isn't here. I think Genshin Impact took No Man's Sky's place, but I do think probably Destiny 2 will win. Not Destiny 2. I think Fortnite probably will win. If Fortnite doesn't win best community support, it's probably gonna win best ongoing. But I think any of these games can win this category. Games for Impact. So A Memoir Blue, As Dusk Falls, Citizen Sleeper, Endling, Extinction is Forever, Hindsight, and I Was a Teenage Eco-Colonist. Well, I haven't played any of these, but um, you know, um, they all look really good. This might actually be one of the few. I actually might go back and like take my vote off some of them, the ones I haven't actually like, done a lot through, because this is like I don't really have much an opinion on, here. But if I were to choose one, just based on their image, I think Endling will win. But this is one I'm actually gonna go back and I think I'll show that just like a quick thing. But I'm actually gonna go back and take my vote off some of these categories just because I honestly do not feel comfortable, putting just a random game for some of them when I think there might be more deserving games to vote for. Best performance. So we got Horizon Forbidden West, Ashley Birch, A Plague Tale Requiem, Charlotte McBurney, God of War Ragnarok with Christopher Judge, Immortality with Manon Gage, and then God of War with Sunny Soljic. And I think that I think it's probably going to be Christopher Judge. I think his performance from what I've seen has been really good. I think it also could be Sunny Soljic, and I think it could be any of them again. Best performance there. These are the best performances of that are these are thought to be the best performances of the year. Any of them can win it. They all deserve it if they were to win it. Best audio design with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, and Horizon Forbidden West. Gran Turismo 7. It's cars. You have a lot of good audio design for cars. But I know a lot of people also vote for Call of Duty because of obviously the amount of noises and sound you have to have in Call of Duty to make it, sound great. Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, any Horizon Forbidden West, any of these games can win those categories as well. That category. Best score and music with Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Metal Hellsinger, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This might be a little biased just because this is the only one that I've really went in depth in when it came to music, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 does get my vote here. But I think probably God of War will win this one. I'm not really sure about Metal Hellsinger's music and score, but that has a good chance. Plague Tale Requiem has a good chance. Elden Ring obviously has a good chance. Elden Ring might sweep for all we know, but yeah. Best art direction, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Scorn, and Stray. In this category, I am going to vote for Horizon Forbidden West because I think it looks really good. I think this is what this category is for. How the game actually looks, and the artistic design and animation. I think the art design of Horizon Forbidden West is really cool. So again, I think any of these games deserve it, but Horizon gets my vote there. Best narrative, A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality. I know there's been a lot of debate if Elden Ring actually has a narrative. I think that narrative is probably more. It's not as upfront as obviously a narrative would need to be for a fully single player game. And again, since this is the only one I've really watched and played through, I think I'm going to go for Horizon Forbidden West on this one. But I think A Plague Tale Requiem has a good chance for this category as well. Best game direction with Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, and Stray. I think Elden Ring is going to win best game direction. I think this is going to be a fight between Elden Ring and God of War. But Elden Ring, I think it brings a little bit more difference, a little more newness to the not the industry, to the industry too, but to the type of game, the genre of game that it's in. Obviously God of War Ragnarok improves off the first game. So, obviously God of War could win this one. I'm just going to give my vote to Elden Ring on that terms. And then, Game of the Year. Honestly, I'm going to go for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Because that was, again, my Game of the Year went from Pokemon Legends Arceus to Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and then Kirby. I I think if Pokemon was here, I would vote for Pokemon. But Xenoblade Chronicles 3, that is my game of the year. I don't think it's gonna win at all. I think God of War and Elden Ring are gonna fight for this one. And I think if Elden Ring wins game direction, I think God of War might win game of the year just um because I think they might want to like split those awards just so they can give one to like one and give the other one to the other one. Just so yeah. But yeah, I think any of these games does have a chance, but I think if we had to like look at percentages, there's probably like 40 for Elden, 40 for God of War, um, and then 5 or something like that. But I think it was 5%. It's a good chance, still a good chance. But yeah. So I'm actually gonna go through and take off some of my votes for some of the categories that I didn't really have much an opinion of because I didn't really play any games in those categories, and then I'll just leave my votes as that is. Okay, so yeah, I took off some of the like multiplayer ones, like the best ongoing and the best community support, because I don't really know where to vote on those. But if there is any of the categories that I was like a little bit confused on, I didn't really play any games on, you know, since the video is going up before the game of the year, Game Awards airs, I think on Tuesday before, so the Tuesday before. I'm not really sure when the voting cuts off, but you all can put like your thoughts on some of those categories, and then I will try to make a collective vote, just so I have like a full vote cast list. But besides that, let us get into my predictions for I know a lot of people don't really watch the Game Awards for awards, so some of the announcements or some of the games that we might see tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on Thursday. So we are 3 days away from the show, and with that, there is some announcements that we can talk about that could appear at this year's Game Awards. You know, while I talk about some predictions, we can look at the players' vote, category. I'm not sure if I can look back. Okay, Sonic Frontiers is probably gonna win this, I guess, which is cool. Sonic Frontiers is a cool game. I'm not really gonna vote in this because there isn't really I don't really have an opinion on a lot of these games, so I don't really want to skew if obviously like Pokemon Legends or something was on this list, or like Splatoon or Kirby or Xenoblade, then I would probably vote, or like Horizon, but I don't necessarily have an opinion. It is interesting. I don't think Stray should be at 2%. I think Stray deserves some of Sonic Frontiers votes. But anyways, obviously this is the player choice, so there's no real opinion. Everyone's opinions differ on this category. So it's not really like a real correct answer, I guess. But so for predictions for what the Game Awards might show off this year, in terms of announcements, I'll start with some of the basic ones. I think we're gonna it's been officially confirmed that we're gonna see Star Wars Jedi Survivor at the Game Awards. Obviously, I mentioned we're gonna see something from Final Fantasy 16, or like they're gonna talk about Final Fantasy 16. There's been, I think, a Fortnite announcement that's gonna be there. The Among Us Twitter page confirmed that an Among Us announcement will be there during the pre-show, which I guess that's important to say. There is, announcements will be happening during the pre-show, so I'm not sure if there'll be the big announcements or the small announcements, but there will be announcements during the pre-show. I think we're going to see a good amount of indies at this year's Game Awards. Obviously, maybe some indies that Jeff reached out to that, like, get their game out there a little bit more. Maybe if Nintendo's here, I'll get into Nintendo, but like when it comes to indies, maybe Nintendo helps to sponsor a Sports Story ad, or not ad, but like a trailer at the Game Awards, and that appears to the Game Awards as like and it drops that day after releases that day. I don't think Sports Story has a release date yet, so well, maybe it does. Let me check. Okay, so it doesn't appear to have a release date yet, so it does say December 2022. So it would be a cool, thing to drop in the Game Awards. People after they watch Game Awards can go play Sports Story. I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, there's probably some games that we'll see that we saw last year. Like the Wonder Woman game we might see again. We might see games that like just released or this year, they released this year, get some updates. Like Elden Ring might get a DLC update. We might hear something about Um, Maybe Horizon Forbidden West getting a DLC update or some type of DLC. Um, you know, those kind of games. Um, Obviously we're gonna hear about Among Us and Fortnite, and that those games. Um, Maybe we already know about Sonic Frontiers DLC, and you know, maybe Genshin Impact as a trailer. Who knows, right? There's a lot of things that they could talk about. So I'm just going to talk about like the bigger things we could see. These are things that are not confirmed. So I'm just going to start with Microsoft. I think we could see Starfield, being that it is nominated for Best Anticipated Game. I think it'd be cool if they like gave the Game Awards like a trailer. I'm not sure when Starfield's coming out. I think it's this April or this coming April. So I think that'd be kind of cool. Um, I think that's where a lot of um, those like I think that's where Microsoft's focus may be. We might see something on Halo, like a Halo update or Halo Infinite update. We might see like a Hellblade 2 trailer. I think they showed off one last year, the Game Awards, or maybe during this year's game Xbox's like presentation with Bethesda. I think they showed off, unless Hellblade is out. If Hellblade is out, but I don't think it's. I think it comes out next year, or the year after. So I think that would be cool to show off a Hellblade trailer, if obviously they can. Maybe a Fable trailer. There's a lot of games that Xbox could show off. I don't think that. I don't think like the major three companies are going to be sending like all their games to the Game Awards. I think maybe each of them get one or two. With Nintendo probably only having one announcement. But I think Xbox probably has a Starfield trailer, and then maybe something maybe like a surprise of sorts. For PlayStation though, it is a bit confusing. Not confusing, but it is a bit. We don't really know about PlayStation's next year lineup that much. And I think this would be a good time to set up their beginning of the year at least, or just like show that, or at least provide like some sort of vision to PlayStation players, in terms of like the games they can expect for next year. Obviously, we know Spider-Man 2 is coming out next year supposedly, and then or at least it was slotted for next year. And then we have Wolverine, both from Insomniac. So it'd be cool to see a Spider-Man 2 trailer tomorrow. Or tomorrow. The Game Awards on Tuesday or Thursday. I'm a little confused. But it would be cool to see a Spider-Man 2 trailer at the Game Awards on Thursday. But I think I think out of the big three, Sony has the most. Like you can give the most percentage chance to them actually just announcing a new game here at the Game Awards, just because they didn't really announce anything new this year. They obviously announced the Last of Us Part 2 remake, Last of Us Part 1 remake that just came out. They announced like some ports of games, or like remasters, remakes. But I think that when it comes to next year's lineup, we don't really know much about PlayStation's lineup, and I think this would be a good time to start that if that is a split Spider-Man 2 trailer or like a Wolverine tease or something like that. I think that'd be a good something. Or maybe they announce new Ratchet and Clank. Who knows? Maybe Insomniac is really doing a lot for the next couple of years, and they have another Ratchet and Clank in development, which that'd be really cool. But besides that, obviously, the big one, and I guess like the big one for this channel, would be Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo's going to come with or I don't think they're going to show up with a new game of sorts. I think that they are going to probably show off, at the very most, a trailer from Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I think Nintendo is also the one company out of these three that may not show up at all. At least through like an announcement of sorts. I think they will show up like with maybe like an advertisement or something during the game, like during like the commercial breaks, like they've done for the last couple of years. But I think if they do show up, they're gonna show up with a trailer for the Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I've been seeing some people say that if they don't show up at the Game Awards with the trailer for Legend of Zelda, it's gonna get delayed. I don't believe that. I think it's just because, They did use the Game Awards a lot for the release of Breath of the Wild, but I don't necessarily. We might see like a mini direct early next year, and if that's a direct that's focused more so on Zelda, like the trailers for Zelda ends that direct, um, while it has information from like Fire Emblem and like Kirby, then yeah, I think that's fine. Um, but I don't think if it doesn't show up at the Game Awards, it's delayed or something. Maybe it is, who knows? But I think if Nintendo does show up with anything, it's going to be the trailer for Tears of the Kingdom. But you know, this is a speculation, so they could also show up with, you know, maybe Metroid Prime 4, maybe the Metroid Prime remaster remake that's been rumored for a little while. Um, you know, they did do that, I guess, with Bayonetta 3. They show up with Bayonetta 1 and 2, and then announced Bayonetta 3. So, you know, we could get our first logo, like our first like official logo since the reboot of Metroid Prime 4, with an announcement of like the Metroid Prime remaster remake. But yeah, I don't think Nintendo has gonna show up with anything more. I mean, I guess they could show up with like something from the Mario movie. I guess like a clip or something. But which I guess that would be kind of cool. But I think that is about it that they'll show up with. And yeah, I mean, there's not really much more to speculate. You know, we probably see a bunch of smaller games, maybe one or two or three big games, outside of the ones we already know about. Like, I don't think every company's gonna announce that they're at the Game Awards. I think they want to keep some surprises. So, you know, maybe we already know about Jedi Survivor and Final Fantasy 16. So I think they might want to keep maybe one or two, maybe possibly three more surprises, maybe one from each of the big companies. But yeah, that is all I have for you all today. So I want to thank you all for watching this video. Thank you all for like subscribing recently. This channel has been, you know, growing at a much faster pace than it has been before. So I want to thank you all for that. But until next time, if that is during the next Game Award, during like a recap of the Game Awards or like a trailer reaction from the Game Awards, I will see you on the next one. Please make sure to do it. Please make sure to do what makes you happy, because the rhymes should generic happy. And goodbye. See you all later. Bye.